to Downtime in the Apocalypse, a podcast where Ted talks and Kevin listens. I'm Ted.
And I'm Kevin.
Listeners, it is no longer an icy hellscape in the former states of New England. It is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and I don't care about it Celsius, so it's actually livable.
Yeah, it's actually a nice and pleasant experience to walk outside.
It is.
Comparably.
Yeah, yesterday I walked out, I was like, oh, I don't need this coat and hat.
It's kind of weird how your body just sort of weirdly adjusts in that way, where it was like 20 or 10 degrees, depending on wind chill, and now it's like 40, and oh my god, what a great difference.
It's like twice the temperature,
yeah,
Kevin.
I could walk outside for like 10 hours.
I don't know if this is true, but years ago I read that the old United States military used to deploy troops from New England first.
Oh, into like, okay.
Because we can adjust the temperatures better than most.
That makes sense, since the temperatures vary widely here in New England.
Yeah, it makes sense. Now, I feel like that could be said for about half the country.
Yeah, but it makes you feel better because you're from New England.
Yes, though, if I had to guess the main reason it would be from New England, it's like, well, there are ports here.
Ah, well, that's also true. Yeah, you know what?
It's easiest to just get the people there.
Yeah, okay. There's a lot of boats. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Nothing to do with us, just where we live. Yes,
I mean, it has nothing to do with us and, the climate and everything, but that plus geography.
Fair enough. They're not saying that about anybody from Florida.
No.
They're too busy getting bit by pythons.
Look, there are two types of people in Florida. People
Doers and don'ters.
I was going to say people from New England and Cubans.
Ah, okay. I thought you were going to say old people and also people from Cuba.
I'm close enough.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Majority of people from New England are old people anyway.
True.
Who have survived the harsh winter.
Now, of course...
And killed the White Walkers.
Yes, of course. Now, Florida, of course, is currently a battleground state between the Syndicus and the Empire.
Yes. So, I'm interested to see who's going to win.
So, I would just say normally Kevin's looking at the knife in my hand. It's kind of concerning.
Well, okay, all right, we're going to do it like this. Always have a backup hatchet on hand.
Kevin, why do you have weapons all around our recording space?
Because it's the apocalypse, man.
Oh, duh.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. What do you think? I'm not going to have a weapon by standby? What do you think?
True. Yeah, but so if it wasn't for the fact that all the Empire loyalists down there are geriatrics,
well, yeah,
I would have much higher hopes for Florida.
I mean, experience though.
Experience, that is something.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you're older, the chance of firearm experience goes up, but eyesight goes down. So we're going to see which one of those really matters the most.
Oh, that's why you have an automatic.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. You spray and pray.
Spray and pray. It's kind of the opposite of that. I was looking up some military documentaries and everything, like YouTube style, not like real ones.
Right. Yeah.
So take this with a grain of salt. But one guy mentioned how when it comes to accuracy, about half of enlisted soldiers are good enough to be trained into snipers.
Oh, really?
But then the part that really gets them is, one, very intimately watching someone die.
Yeah, okay. True.
And number two, when you get to the really high end, it's doing the calculus in your head to try to figure out, the wind speed and the drag on the bullets and everything.
Yeah, that's a lot of math and calculate. Well, they also have like a spotter there too to help out with that.
The spotter has to do that too.
Okay, also true.
But yeah, I just found it very interesting how much math goes into sniping.
Yeah, I mean, that's always... you ever seen that movie, The American Sniper?
No, but I would love to.
Yeah.
I try to watch any movie Clint Eastwood's involved in.
Yeah, he's a really good director, and also a good actor in general.
Yeah, I enjoy Clint Eastwood severely. The last one I saw with him was The Mule.
Oh, The Mule was pretty good. I like that movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah. That's where he has to get those drugs across, and...
Now, there's something about Clint Eastwood movies that I enjoy.
What's that?
It proves that everyone, despite race and creed, can be a good guy and an asshole.
Yeah, true. I look at Clint Eastwood. Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's it, though. It's like, no. We are all equally trash and equally good. We're all just human. But, I mean, not even halfway through, like 30 minutes in, he's, like, asking, one of the drug smugglers of his nephews getting better in math class.
It's that human connection.
Yeah, it's like, we all have lives. We all have things.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Man, He's always been so cool, by the way, too.
Oh yeah, Clint Eastwood's awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Clint Eastwood fan cast.
Yeah, I'm glad they made that robot out of him.
Oh man, I can't wait till they make more.
Yeah, I can't wait till I see another one of his cyborg westerns.
I would kill for a cyborg western.
Right now, yeah, I know.
I would
Right.
love to watch one of those right now.
Have you ever seen the good, the bad, and the weird?
No.
Okay, it's a Korean film. I believe it's Korean. Where they have it's like a spaghetti western.
Excellent.
Yeah, so spaghetti western, but I don't know the Japanese equivalent to that because that's always like an Italian thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, ramen western,
Ramen
whatever.
western like
Yeah,
that.
or whatever. I forget a japchae western if you're Korean. So we're basically where it's the good, the bad, and the weird is like the good, the bad, and the ugly, like that movie. It's a play off that. But the whole idea is we have Japanese people invading like Korea, and this comes up so much in so many Korean films where they just don't like they don't. It's like kind of weird because it's sort of like where basically France and England hate each other for like thousands of years, mainly because you invade my country every other 5 years or
That
have
sounds
a
about
war.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with like Korea where Japan either invades or China either invades, and they're just like the stepping stone to get to Japan,
Yeah,
or the
they are
stepping stone
going
to
back
get
to
to
earlier statement. They're the port.
yeah. They're the port. They're like the peninsula where you get to Japan or you get to China.
Yeah, they're
That's
the very unfortunately placed buffer states.
yeah. Korea hates both those countries so much for good
Can
reason.
you blame them?
No, for good reason. I mean, yeah. And in every Korean film you ever watch, the Japanese person is always evil, or the Chinese person is always evil.
So the good, the bad, and the weird is a
Kind of like a spinoff of the good, bad, and the ugly.
but it's not. Is it a western? Is there a cowboys?
Yes.
In Korea
Yes.
with the Japanese invading.
Yes.
We need to watch this.
There's a dude that shoots a mosquito's wings off with a
We
gun.
need to watch this, Kevin.
Oh, I think he throws a dagger into the mosquito and then shoots the dagger. I forget, but
We need to watch
it's
this.
a good
I
film.
want to watch. Kevin, I know we have plans for our next recording, but if it's not the one after that, I'm just going to watch this on my own.
All right, fair enough.
That
Fair
sounds
enough.
amazing.
We still have to watch TMNT 3,
Yes.
The Time Machine.
God, I am not looking forward to that one.
No.
Which is a shame because the first two were actually quite delightful.
The first two are very good. Second one I enjoyed a lot more than the first.
Same actually.
Yep.
Though I enjoyed both.
Yeah, both pretty good films.
Kevin, what have you done this week?
All right, so I've been doing a few different things. One of the first things there is I checked out that Nintendo Direct, and I was very interested in a few different things, Mario Golf being one, because I love golf in general, and I haven't had a Mario Golf game since, I think, the one that was on, like, the 64,
Yep.
like Toadstool Tour. But I'm very interested to see how this goes. It has, like, the same kind of feature from Giant Robot Golf, where you kind of, like, run and play, and everyone tries to hit the ball to, like, the goal as quickly as possible.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is nice. They also have this other game, which one big thing about me is that I love Final Fantasy Tactics. That is my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Okay, Kevin. So I have played 2 Final Fantasy Tactics games.
Yes.
But I've played only the advanced Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced and the sequel to that. I've not played the original Final Fantasy Tactics.
The original one's the best one.
Yeah, which is saying something because I remember putting in 600 hours in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and really loving it. So
it's a great game.
Actually, I might go and see if it's on the Nintendo store tonight.
Final Fantasy Tactics will definitely not be on the Nintendo store.
Why?
Because because it's a PlayStation exclusive game.
Hey Kevin, can I come over and use your PlayStation?
Yeah, you use my PlayStation 3. It's got it on there. I've got it on every possible means I could have that game, except for the PSP. So the big thing is that they have a game coming out, and they released a demo of it. It's called Triangular Strategy.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and it reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics. At least some of the aspects of it do. So yeah, you got like your grid-based combat. You have your everyone has like a turn in certain orders depending on their speed. So people have that
I
kind
love
of
me
order.
some grid-based combat, Kevin.
Yeah.
I really love grid-based combat games.
As lovers of Fire Emblem, yeah, we get it. But big thing is that different from Final Fantasy Tactics, there's not a MP gauge where you have like magic points or anything. What they have instead is like TP, which I think it's like technical points. So you have different moves that your character class allows you to do, but you have to let it build up over time. You start off with like one, and every of the different sort of
Okay.
techniques have a different like amount. Like I was so thrown off by that though,
Eh.
because when you like have like a mage character, you think immediately like, okay, I'll catch fire, but you have to like wait a turn or two to get like the fire up.
That's interesting
Yeah.
because those styles of games, and I mean a lot of games, just kind of go with the throw everything right in the beginning.
Yes,
A lot
yes.
of games kind of go for the blitzkrieg style of warfare and fighting rather than a long strategic one.
Okay, yeah, where you have to time everything out.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I would kind of enjoy that. I'm now excited. Interesting enough, a former student of mine calls me after every Nintendo Direct.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I never have to watch them. He just tells me what I'd like. And he failed to mention that, so that's unfortunate. But he did tell me about Splatoon 3,
Yes.
which
Now,
I am excited about. I love me some Splatoon.
I what I love too is there's two different kind of spectrums on people reacting to Nintendo Directs. There's the people that love the Nintendo Directs, and there's people that absolutely hate the Nintendo Directs. I watched a video on someone who absolutely hated the Nintendo Directs, and this was a character called Donkey.
Oh, I know Donkey.
Yeah, Donkey is a funny dude. I like this guy a lot. But one of the things is that he does not like anime, and he does not like anime games. And this is what you would call an anime direct, because there is nothing but JRPGs, 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 and more JRPGs.
I'm not sure I'd count Splatoon as a JRPG.
I wouldn't either, but majority.
That's a third-person shooter.
True. But majority of games that
Yeah.
were announced or released were either remakes of like Tales of Mana, or remakes of like
Ooh.
remakes of like all these different sort of JRPGs like Triangular Strategy, Bravely Default 2.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, like see, we get excited.
Yeah.
He is like he's secretly like stabbing himself in the heart because like there's no Mario release that was mentioned except for Mario Golf.
I could not care the slightest bit about Mario.
I love Mario Odyssey. That was a great game.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed Mario games.
Yeah.
I think it peaked at Yoshi's Island.
Okay. I disagree on that, but
Yeah, well, that's
preference.
That's a preference. I'm not. That's not a. I'm willing to die on a lot of stupid hills. I am not willing to die on the hill of best Mario game, and my preference just happens to be Yoshi's Island.
Which I don't know. That's more of a Yoshi game than a Mario game.
Oh yeah, 100%. But tell me it says like Mario something on it.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, trust me. If I could remove the Mario from that, I would. Mario is the most annoying part of Yoshi's Island.
Well, yeah. That's an.
Which actually I think is great game design.
Oh, okay.
Because you really don't want to lose him. Because
Right.
you have to hear him crying.
Yeah, and that's like the worst sound humanly imaginable is a cat. Not a cat crying. Well, a cat crying too. But,
yeah, that sucks too.
Yeah, but a human baby crying serves a integral part of you that does not want to hear that.
Yeah, like I think I mentioned this. I had to stop playing certain characters in Age of Calamity because the woman who does their voices sounds so hurt when they take fire damage. Oh,
Yeah.
it burns. I'm like, oh god, I hate it so much.
You know what's like the weird sort of twist on that is if you've ever played like the new Tomb Raider games,
Mhm.
it's almost like kind of like porn, really, because what some of the things that happens like to her, like she gets like railed through with like a metal spike in her side, and the way she sounds is like oh like that kind of stuff, and which already sounds like weird in and of itself.
Yeah. Look, if you're gonna get someone like put through with like you need to do one of the
Speared.
You need to do one of two things. One, have them pass out immediately.
Yeah, from shock.
Or two, make sure your rating's high enough so they can just allow out a string of profanity.
Yeah, that
like,
too.
The most. I don't know what else would be more realistic than holy fucking shit, it hurts.
Yeah,
like that's what you'd be saying.
Right, as I have like rebar through my side.
Oh, the pain, motherfucking get it out!
Why is there salt all around this? Why is it coated in salt? Yeah.
Oh, get it out! No, not iodine.
Oh God! Why did you spill the rubbing alcohol over the wound? Yeah. So like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like you want, like you need it to be more realistic than porn sounds.
Smell like a bartender's wet dream. No. Yeah. So like that kind of stuff. So you don't want that. But going on from there, I tried out the game. I like it so far. It's going to be a demo, so they're going to change things according from player feedback, and I have no idea when it's going to come out.
If you can send me the link later or like a reminder, I will download this so we can talk about this next time.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
It does have the cliches in it,
I'm okay with that.
but that's like the 3 separate kingdoms. All of them contain like one major like resource, and then they're fighting. Blah blah blah.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah, that was also in Final Fantasy Tactics, which I love. But
Yeah, I'm super okay with that.
yeah, me too. So going off from there, what did you do during your week, my friend?
All right. So I played one thing and watched another. So which one would you like me to start with first?
All right. After you say what you watch, I'm going to also say something I watched because you just reminded me of that.
Okay.
But go through what you played first and then watch.
All right. So I actually started playing this again because of your brother.
Oh, Solaris?
Yes.
Yeah, he talked about that and said like, yeah, Ted got me into Solaris, and I freaking suck at this game.
Okay. So
there's so many complicated things.
Yeah. So this is a
planetary maintenance. Like yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few things I need to go over. The Stellaris has gone through, I want to say, 3 major changes.
Okay, like updates?
Yes. Not including DLC, like major overhauls of the game.
Right.
To the point where if you played Stellaris originally and then looked at it now, you would think it's a different game.
Oh, okay, like totally changing.
The graphics are the same, that's about it.
Ah, okay.
I have been with it from the beginning, so
right.
this has happened gradually.
Okay, right, so gradual changes over time.
Yeah. But I can imagine if you jumped in now,
yeah,
it would be rough.
Yeah, I mean, he was going on about research ships, and he was going on about a lot of things. And restarting and saying, like, I have to look up videos on actually how to do this correctly.
Yeah, if I make a suggestion,
yep.
I think I already told him, like, some basics.
Yeah.
Just 3 starting tips. If you have the Federation's DLC, pick the Scion Origin. This gives you, like, this ancient fallen empire as your patron-sugar daddy.
Oh, nice.
It's basically impossible to just lose the game if you have that. Because if you get invaded by an overpowered fleet, your sugar daddy gives you a fleet.
Oh, well.
It just gives you really nice gifts every 20 years.
That's nice. Okay. Thank you, Sugar Daddy.
Yeah, no, right?
Thank you, Space Sugar Daddy.
Number 2, and this is something that everyone has to learn very quickly, unlike the original version of Stellaris,
yeah,
never play a democracy.
Okay.
You can
well, we already talked about how democracy sucks, but go on.
Okay, so 4 types of main governments in Stellaris. You can also play Hive Minds and Megacorps, but we're going to ignore those for now.
Okay.
Democracy,
yeah,
oligarchy, dictatorship, Imperium.
Okay. And which one do you suggest playing is just not democracy?
So, here's the order from worst to best.
Okay.
Democracy.
Yep.
Imperium.
Okay.
Oligarchy. Dictatorship. In that order.
Okay.
There are ways to make it so oligarchy is better than dictatorship. There are certain civics you can take that make it a little bit better. Meritocracy being the best.
Right.
There is no situation where you should play a democracy or an empire proper.
Okay, right. Understood. Gotcha.
They really suck. The main reason is how succession works.
Yeah.
So there's 3 types of succession in Stellaris: elections, then there's oligarchical style elections,
yeah,
and then there's inheritance.
Oh, so you're saying dictatorship makes that so much simpler.
So if you're a democracy, it's every 10 years, like half of your leaders and then all your faction leaders go into election.
Oh, that sucks.
You can spend your influence points, which are a rare commodity, to increase the chances of one of them getting there, but not guarantee it.
That sucks.
Imperium, it's when the current monarch dies, their successor goes up, which this does give them a little bit of time to get some skills and everything.
Right, some leeway.
But you have no choice in who it is.
Okay. Yeah.
In oligarchy, it's every 20 years there's an election. However, there's only 4 options. And if you spend 200 influence, you just get to pick which one.
Oh, okay. Which is a rare commodity. Let's not
you
skim
get
that.
Maybe if you're doing very well, I can't say very well. If you're doing normal 4 influence a month, and you also need that to enact edicts and claim territories and put legislation to the Space UN.
Okay, so yeah.
It's a valuable commodity.
Right.
And then dictatorship, it's the same type of election, but only happens when the dictator dies.
Okay, so that makes like a bigger window.
Yeah, so that makes it... Now, the downside of that is if you just happen to not have a lot of influence when the dictator dies, you're stuck with them for a while.
Ah, okay. Which sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. Like, normally dictator is better. You can make good arguments for oligarchy being better.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, just stick to those. God, don't ever... Democracy used to be good because the leaders used to cost influence, and whenever you did an election,
Yeah.
you just got a bunch of leaders. All your faction leaders became like scientists and governors and such.
Oh yeah, that's.
So
And that changed.
yeah, democracy used to be OP.
Yeah, and then the update happened, and then everything
Yeah,
changed.
it was.
And then the Fire Nation invaded.
It was
yeah.
really weird when they did like the big overhaul of how governments work.
Okay.
I was like, oh,
And nerfed democracies by
democracy
like a lot.
got destroyed.
Yeah.
It was really
Just like after the apocalypse.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, oligarchy used to be the best because they used to have a 40-year election cycle.
Oh, which gives you more time.
As good as forever.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't dictatorship, and then they made dictatorship and nerfed oligarchy.
Okay, yeah, and that made that better. All right, so here we are. We have the solid one option of dictatorship.
Yeah, now, exactly. Now, I play with a bunch of mods. So, like, I play with a more event mod. So my Megacorp in the Galaxy, which just was failing at business because they only had one trading partner.
Well, yeah, he was
found
failing
a
pretty
robot
fast.
governor who was basically Wall-E and was sent to clean up a planet.
Oh.
And then through a weird, just oligarchical election, he ended up being in charge.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, well, he's immortal. So then I reorganized my government, made it got rid of the Megacorp, became a dictatorship.
And had Wall-E be your dictator?
Yeah, I have an eternal robot king.
Wall-E. Yeah.
Actually, he's better than that. He is so good at he reduces all pop upkeep by 10%.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really good.
Really good. That's from a mod. I have a more events mod installed.
I like to think it's like policies he's enacting, but also I like to think that he's just physically cleaning up surrounding cities.
See, I just assumed they plugged him into so this particular origin. They're on 3 space stations. I don't have any planets.
Oh, okay, right.
And I just imagine he's been plugged into their mainframes.
So he's just been reducing all that by just being plugged into the hard drive basically.
Also that makes leadership is yes, I know exactly what happened. Why? Because I was the one who had to freaking deal with it.
Yeah, okay, fair, yeah. So don't need to explain to me. I don't need a report. I was there.
Yeah, so that was my most recent Solaris game. I've also played a couple Hive Mind games because I found a really cool DLC that gives Hive Minds, which are been so neglected.
Yeah.
Some really cool stuff.
Okay, so I imagine there's not really any choices with a Hive Mind per se.
I mean, there's some civics you can have more empathic ones, or maybe you can be the Tyranids and or Zerg and be Devouring Swarm.
That's also cool. I like that.
But this gave me so many more options. I'm playing these super cloner guys who having people into their empire, except refugees to take genetic samples, and you'll get a bonus based on how many different species they have in the hive mind.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Basically, their goal is to diversify, so they always have something for the scenario.
Oh, diversify their portfolio?
Yeah. But this also means refugees keep fleeing and then either get kept as experiments, which is not a terrible life, not a great life.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the best life.
Yeah, they're from their happiness. They are. I mean, it's better than slavery, but not by much. Or immediately they lose their personality and are assimilated,
which is almost worse than slavery.
Yeah, I kept up. I actually took the civic from this DLC that lets them maintain their personalities.
Oh, okay.
So you can distinguish one drone from another. They're still part of the hive. They're all psychic and everything, but
right, connected, but not necessarily
still,
a race.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the game I've been playing. Besides that, I am almost done Age of Calamity.
Ooh, okay, nice.
It's very fun. Like I said, it's just a Dynasty Warriors game with a Zelda skin. However, it does have its own storyline. I'm annoyed that it's not a real prequel to Breath of the Wild.
Well, it's like a weird alternate reality kind of prequel.
What Zelda games do. Let's be honest. That is something they've done. And
the Zelda timeline is a strenuous and complicated mess.
Timelines.
Yeah,
it's more of a web of time, really.
So, and in the spider center is Ganondorf, basically.
Yeah, but actually, kind of what they did was Zelda's powers when they awakened, or in the original timeline.
Yeah.
Basically, some timey-wimey stuff happened.
Of course. There was a something in the time flux continuum.
But that let things change a little bit, and her powers awakened properly this time.
Ah, okay. So it kind of changes up the whole momentum of time if
Yes.
your powers don't just have a handicap from the beginning.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
Well,
exactly.
she does have a handicap in the beginning. It takes a while, though. She rocks the Sheikah slate.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Liking that.
Zelda, remarkably fun character to play in that game. She's probably my second best.
Okay. What's your number one?
Mifra.
Mifra. Okay. I like Mifra, yeah.
Yeah, and then third is a spoiler.
Ah, okay. So we keep that to the side.
Yeah.
All right.
My third, he's so fun to play. But yeah, besides that, though, I have watched a show last week when I was dead in bed, and I do, I'm always down for my 16-hour shifts.
Right, of course.
I was deader than normal. I woke up at 10, went back to sleep. Katie got me up at 1, told me, get coffee and everything.
Yeah.
We get coffee, we eat. She puts on a show, I immediately fall asleep.
Okay, right.
I wake up again, and then she's watching episode 1, and she's halfway through of the show that I've heard about, and I underestimated the appeal of.
Okay, and that would be?
Tiger King.
Oh, you haven't seen Tiger King?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god, I watched it all in one sitting.
Yeah, I bet half those people look like family members.
You have no idea. But, okay, look, I underestimated the level of crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane. There's a murder plot that goes on with that whole show.
There's multiple murder plots.
Yeah. I mean,
So one thing I thought, here's what I knew.
Yeah.
Multiple big cat businesses. I don't want to call them sanctuaries
because they're not.
Yeah, no, I was told from the beginning, no, these are massive pet stores.
Yeah. Yeah, they all are. They're not any really different from each other, really.
No, they have different styles, but that's the same business, same criminal enterprise.
Yeah, different governments, but same, really.
Yeah. In Stellaris, different government structures, same ethics.
Okay. Ah, that's good. I like that.
You can pick ethics, so you can be a xenophobe, xenophile, religious, materialist, that sort of thing.
Okay.
They're different forms of the same things. They have different civic choices. They're fundamentally the same thing.
Yeah, basically, yes.
And that's evil.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I knew Carol Baskin probably killed her husband, and I knew Joe Exotic did a lot of meth.
Yeah, you can tell by his teeth.
Was poly.
Yeah, and had sex with tiger corpses.
And that's all I knew.
Oh, you didn't know about the tiger corpses thing?
No, I also didn't know that he tried to get Carol Baskin killed. I didn't know his run for president. I didn't know anything about
that was great, right?
I'm so glad I did not know about this, because I would have voted for him.
Did he run for independent? I forget what he ran for.
It was I don't remember that. He also ran for governor a couple times.
Yeah, which is great.
But oh my god, is Tiger King a wild ride?
I mean, Tiger King is a great and wild ride, also a depressing wild ride. Seeing that woman with her arm chewed off, and then Joe Exotic going to the hospital saying okay, with your good arm, can you sign this waiver so I don't get sued by you? Immediately at the hospital. It's stuff like that really makes you think.
It's buck wild.
Yeah.
Also, the weird fact that they both run weird cults.
Yeah, there's also that too. Also, that guy that would bring in tiger cubs to the casinos so people could pet the tiger cubs.
Wild.
Yeah. No, that's exotic.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I did not think it'd be that good. Afterwards, I watched a show that I also didn't think I'd like.
And that would be
WandaVision.
I've not heard of that. What is that?
You haven't heard of WandaVision?
Oh, I thought you said One Division.
No, WandaVision.
WandaVision. Okay, I have heard of that. Yeah, that's what's his face from the Avengers.
Wanda and Vision.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. Now I feel stupid, but go on.
Yeah. Where I haven't got that far, but I watched a few of my students watching episodes, so I know kind of
the basics.
Yeah, basically what happens in the next episode. I think.
Yeah.
I'm aware Wanda went insane after Vision's death and the snap and everything.
Yeah.
And kind of created this weird sitcom style world.
Oh, to like kind of cope with
Vision
like his
as like
loss.
her husband, and like
Yeah.
they have to keep his nature secret and her magic, and it's wacky shenanigans ensue.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting part though: the type of sitcom it goes to increases by 10 years every episode.
Oh, okay.
So like, there's one episode
It's a
where
good premise.
it's in color
Ah.
and it changes at the end of like what. Like it's
Ah.
very clearly Leave It to Beaver style stuff, and then it's like, oh, this is the Addams Family. I was told one of the more recent episodes is a parody of The Office,
Oh.
and apparently, like, some of the neighbors know they're in there and just
Yeah.
keep up the act.
Oh, well, like otherwise they'll die or
I
something?
don't know.
Okay.
One person got kicked out of the illusion.
Oh. Because they were messing up like...
No, she just left. I don't know the full thing.
Oh.
I think like next episode they tell, because I watched a little bit of students watching it, and like
Yeah.
it's like the Shield Control Center, like talking about the Westfield anomaly and everything.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, it was weirdly good. Even the like sitcom antics they do
Yeah.
were kind of hilarious.
Okay. Right. I haven't seen that show. I just heard like a lot about it, like some mixed reactions.
Yeah. So what I was told is there was a lot of mixed reactions.
Yeah.
And then anyone who had a mixed reaction that kept with it.
Yeah.
Once they hit episode 4, were hooked.
Oh, okay, I see.
I just finished episode 3.
Right, and you're still hooked regardless.
Yeah, I loved it. It
Okay.
was great. I was shocked how much I enjoyed it. Right after watching Tiger King, which I didn't think anything could top.
All right. Okay.
Because
Fair.
Tiger King was a ride, and I can't get over Tiger King. I understand the hype now.
Yeah, and then what makes Tiger King special is like the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all really happened. Just documented stuff of it.
So, can I say why I didn't watch Tiger King the first time?
Okay.
All right. So I kept hearing people talking about Tiger King, and then I turned it on, and it was this weird zoo thing.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I thought it was going to be a martial arts movie.
Oh, Tiger King. Okay.
I was expecting Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff.
Crouching King. I like, yeah, okay, I can see where you're going with that.
Crap, what's that? Cobra Kai is kind of what I was expecting from Tiger King.
Like it's a spin-off of Cobra Kai.
Well, no, this was pre-Cobra Kai.
Oh, that was, it was pre-Cobra Kai.
I thought Cobra Kai, I expected, like, Cobra Kai to have the name Tiger King.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Which kind of would have fit.
Actually, yeah, actually. It's like a pure, like, ego-driven, like, weirdo.
Yeah, not even that, just the name Tiger King's a good name for a martial arts, anything.
True, very true. I could see, like, a Bruce Lee movie being
called
Tiger
King. You can imagine that.
I could definitely
I feel like that wasn't an unreasonable assumption.
Yeah.
I was really in the mood for, like, some Hong Kong cinema at that point.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
I turned on...
And then you got disappointed because it was, like, a zoo documentary thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what the fuck is this crap? And then, nearly a year, almost exactly later...
Year to the day, yeah.
Maybe, I have to look that up now.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was great. All right, Kevin. Now, speaking of other great things, what have you had for rations this week?
Before that, Ted.
Oh, that's right. You had something you wanted to talk about.
Yes, I watched a movie recently called Willy's Wonderland. Have you heard of that?
You watched porn, Kevin. That's perfectly normal.
No. It's not porn. It's got Nicolas Cage in it.
Which Kevin, you watched Nicolas Cage porn.
No.
Fine.
All right. I've watched...
Kevin, you can be a Nicolas Cage sexual.
Don't like put this on the stream and not stream, but like podcast and make this a thing that we have to talk about every other week. I don't want that to happen. Okay, that's not gonna happen. All right, you can be a hipster lich and I can be like whatever as well. I've got a clone empire. We're not gonna make the Nicolas Cage thing permanent. Okay, we're not doing that. Right now we got our things. We don't need to add. We're good. Stop talking about my Nicolas Cage porn.
All right. Okay, you made it canon.
Yeah. So anyway, I went off of the various hubs that I go to, and I watched this Nicolas Cage movie, which has Nicolas Cage fighting a bunch of Five Nights at Freddy's monsters.
Which hub?
I don't want to speak on the... I don't want to... it's my hub.
Was it the color one, perhaps?
Let's get off that.
Okay.
So, all right. We're going from this movie that just came out recently. It's really based on like a few different things, like Chuck E. Cheese, like monsters, basically is what it is. Not an amazing movie. I'll say that off the bat. It's got Nicolas Cage in it. That's the biggest draw this movie has going on.
That's not a great draw.
It's not a great draw because Nicolas Cage has been in like a lot of bad films. True. But The other big draw of this film is that Nicolas Cage does not say anything during the whole entire film. He's like the man with no name. He's like a Clint Eastwood like character that does not talk or say anything during the whole entire time, and he just is like a stranger drifting through town that has to deal with this situation. And basically, what happens is that he gets his car, like his sports car, because it's Nicolas Cage, and he has to drive a sports car. He gets his tires punctured, and there's a mechanic in town that doesn't take a card or anything like that, so he got no way to pay for it. So the deal is that he'll spend a whole entire night and day cleaning up this old Chuck E. Cheese like place that's been out of commission for a long time, and he has to just like mop up the floors, do all that kind of stuff. And there's like 6 evil machines that are standing on top of the stage. You have Willie the Weasel. That's why it's Willy's Wonderland. It's Willie the Weasel. You have like a pixie. You have like a Spanish turtle. You have like a you have a slug monster thing, like a snail, I guess. You have like a few other ones too. Crocodile. Those kind of characters. Gorilla. Like basically that kind of thing. And he just nonchalantly just kills all these things throughout the whole entire movie. Like the way the movie breaks out is that okay, there's a Nicolas Cage scene, he's cleaning. There's a Nicolas Cage fight scene where he fights a monster. He easily defeats the monster. He goes back to cleaning. There's a Nicolas Cage fight scene, cleaning. Like and then him playing pinball for like 10 hours. It's that kind of pacing, and he drinks a beer every other like hour or two.
I am fascinated by this.
Yeah.
I like the idea of him just not talking. Like
Yeah, that's the other draw.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this before. I'm a big fan of BoJack Horseman.
Oh, okay,
But
right.
my favorite episode is the one where he doesn't speak past the first like minute.
You're right, right. And you just so you kind of stay silent through the rest of the
Yes.
show. Yeah, it basically that it's there's some like side characters like this little girl who turned into like a older girl teenager that tries to burn down the place with her friends, and then all her friends are there just to get killed. So that's how that goes. But um, not a lot going on with the film. I enjoyed it for what it was, which is a bad Nicolas Cage film.
That's fair.
Yeah. And also turned me on to like another film that came out that is basically the same premise. Um, have you ever heard of like the Banana Split Gang?
No.
Okay, so it's a Hanna Barbera show that was back in like the '60s.
This is what?
Yeah. So Hanna Barbera had like this show where they had like people in costumes, and they would just kind of like transition into animated shorts that Hanna Barbera would do.
Okay.
So it's that kind of show.
Okay.
What's weird about this is that they got bought out by a couple different people. I think Warner Brothers bought them out like a long time ago, like this property in particular. And this property has had so many different crossovers. Like it had a crossover with like the Suicide Squad. So just like these big fluffy cartoon-esque characters, like with killers and also doing killing, I assume. But there's this whole entire movie where it's like the Banana Split Gang, and they're like a TV show. They're animatronics. There's this one guy who's like a dude that just like rides on a bicycle or plays different human characters that like does the show. They're gonna be closed down. Something happens to their programming, and they just start like killing people in the most grotesque and wonderful ways possible, like sawing people in half. And you see like the intestines hanging out. They tear a dude like what's that like where you have like the horses on each like limb.
They draw and quarter him.
Yeah, they draw and quarter him. That's the term. And they just do like a bunch of like over the top zany stuff while they're wearing their bright, happy, fun costumes and making children watch in the crowd. Like it's a lot better than Willy's Wonderland, which has like almost exact same premise,
This seems like the Itchy and Scratchy show to its logical extreme.
or like the Itchy and Scratchy amusement park.
Itchy and Scratchy Land, yeah.
Yeah, that episode.
Yeah,
of
actually,
Simpsons.
that happens in that
Yeah.
episode. Is
Yeah, are we just desensitized to like violence and just like you see like the burning not crusty, itchy doll just
Yeah.
like, but yeah, if you want to watch a pretty decent Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which will never come out, even though it's been in production for like 10 years, watch Banana Split Gang. Do not watch Willy's Wonderland because that's just it's just a bad Nicolas Cage movie. If you're looking for that.
all right, fair. Now before we go on more of what we did this week, because otherwise I'm going to be talking about the Percy Jackson books all days.
Oh God, yes, okay,
Because now I'm on book 3.
nice, okay. How's that going for you?
Excellent, but I don't want to talk about that yet.
Fair.
Kevin, let's
Talk about rations. Okay.
So, Kevin, last time we had the world's worst rations,
Um.
the spicy chocolates and such.
That was
2 times ago.
that was 2 podcasts ago.
Okay, so
yeah,
well, that's in my head, and I guess because I'm in the same seat, it's back.
yeah,
Yes,
that is
Kevin, I'm
back.
playing with your knife again. I'm sorry.
That's
It's
all right.
here.
That's all right. That's why I got 2.
That being said, I have had much more mild chocolate in the
In the interim between them
Yeah,
and there.
so-
Yeah, okay.
um.
Tell me about your chocolate worries, friend.
So I've recently had Cooper's Farm chocolate milk, which in the strawberry, which I liked, but also there's a new like Hershey's Kiss type. That's like it's like meltables or something, and they have like a much softer core,
Okay, gotcha.
and it's a very creamy centered Hershey Kiss.
Okay.
But it's a gradual change. It's not like it, just hits and suddenly, oh god, it's liquid. It's like there's the outer layer that gets a bit softer and very soft in the middle. It's a nice blend into a Hershey Kiss, which
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Hershey Kisses normally.
Right, me either, but
they're kind of just awful to eat.
I mean, depends on what kind of Hershey Kiss you're getting, because they have like the peppermint ones.
Yeah.
which
It's just the shape and everything about it.
Okay,
I just don't,
it's like inconvenient for
yes,
you.
I don't like it. For some reason, like it makes my mouth feel weird a little bit.
Okay, I could understand that, sure. And just like the chocolate on like a normal Hershey's Kiss is not that great anyway.
Yeah, no, it's not great.
Yeah, but you're saying like the those are also
Yes,
things you tried.
These are great. Thoroughly enjoy them. Besides that, I've had a couple interesting foods.
Mm-hmm.
The first is I went to a local grocer.
Yeah.
And found mochi.
Oh, mochi! Look at you getting all Oriental
Which
on me.
I love me some mochi.
Yeah, mochi's great. I love that stuff.
My favorite was the strawberry flavored stuff. The ice cream was vanilla, but the rice coating around it.
Yeah, was strawberry. Yeah,
it was amazing.
I was a big like green tea guy. Green tea mochi is always my favorite. But yeah, nice. I like that a lot. That's pretty fun.
Yep. And last but certainly not least.
Not least, go for it, my friend. Speak your truth.
I've been drinking seltzer lately.
Drinking seltzer again. Look at you. Okay.
Now, did we talk about the caffeinated seltzer I now have?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so I think it's Poland. Katie got it for me.
Yeah.
And she found caffeinated seltzer water.
Okay. Nice. I can see where this is going
Yes,
for you.
Then I also own like Power Water, which is like the energy drink version, but seltzer.
Okay, but seltzer water still. Get that effervescent
All right,
bubble.
so the real power one, like the one that's like super
Charged.
Yeah. Okay. Take a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Water it down with seltzer.
Oh, okay. Basically. All right. Does that have the same taste?
Yes.
Sweet tarts, kind of?
Yeah, it's very much Red Bull.
Okay. Except it's just watered down to make it into seltzer.
Yes.
Okay. I can dig that.
The other one, the more just caffeinated one,
Yeah.
is like kind of meh berry flavored seltzer. And then it just
I wish some company would come out with Mad Berry.
Mad berry.
Yeah, it's Mad Berry. You won't enjoy it, but you won't hate it.
The mad berries taste like mad berries.
Berries. What's a Mad Berry? Something you don't understand. Yeah, I get you. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, that's why it's called Mad Berry.
So yeah, that's it. But now I have caffeinated seltzer.
I can dig that.
It's something I tend to grab before I leave the house.
All right. So you have it like on a steady supply there right before the house you leave.
I mean, on the way to work, like I keep some aspirin and some like emergency of my medication in my car.
And of course your emergency seltzer.
Yes, and I bring a seltzer with me.
Yeah, okay, good.
No, I know. If we're talking about the actual emergency thing, I keep a ginger ale in my car.
Oh, what is that for? Just in case you have like a stomachache or
Yeah.
something? Ah, okay.
I also keep Pepto in my car.
Not bad. I keep like hot sauce in my car in case I need like something on my omelet.
I respect that, Kevin.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
good
you.
idea. But no, I have stomach problems to the point where I just keep chewable ibuprofen in my car.
That doesn't sound good.
No. Actually, when I was doing like my guard training the night before, I had such bad stomach flu. I brought 4 pairs of pants with me, and I want to say a 36 pack of chewable Pepto with me.
Okay. That is not great, Ted.
Nope.
No, it's not good at all.
Didn't need the pants.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, Ted. I'm glad to hear that part of the story.
Every break that we had in the bathroom.
Okay. Just regretting everything.
Oh god, the day before I listened to like 4 audiobooks because I couldn't do anything but lay in bed and run to the bathroom.
Sounds good.
Kev, what have you had for food?
Okay, my rations include various different things, but one of the biggest things that I had was another caffeinated treat. That is Coke coffee, coffee Coke. And I showed you this before on like a podcast or two, and then I tried the flavors, the variety pack, if you will. There's vanilla, there's dark roast, there's caramel, and then there's like the 0 calorie dark.
Okay.
So don't like the 0 calorie dark. I never liked diet soda ever, and this tastes like diet soda with like a little bit of coffee.
Okay, so interesting enough, I was basically raised on diet soda.
Yeah, see, this is where we differ
Well,
here.
yeah, this is something I'm aware I am different than most people in this. I mean, it's
Most people, yeah.
most people like
You say that about a lot of things,
yeah,
Dad.
true, but it's true.
Yep.
But Diet Coke is the default flavor of Coke for me.
I'll never understand that. No.
Well, it's just what I had for like the first 10 years I was drinking soda.
Okay, fair
So,
enough.
like,
Yeah.
Coke is like, what the hell is this?
Oh, right,
It's
right.
not bad, but it's just a notable difference.
I'll say the same thing about Diet Coke as well. That's like the notable difference between.
Yeah, but
yeah.
like to the point where a friend of mine accidentally got Diet Coke from like a Grubhub order.
Oh,
And he
okay.
just gave it to me.
Okay.
You're the only one here who will drink this.
I mean, that's not that weird considering how much they sell. People like Diet Coke. I get it.
Oh yeah, but it was such a strange thing. It's like we're in a house of like 10 people.
Okay.
No one else here will drink Diet Coke, and I'll drink it over the normal Coke.
Well, 1 out of 10 people recommend Diet Coke, I suppose.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
Apparently so. I mean, or prefer Diet Coke.
Yeah. So how are these coffees though?
Not bad. I didn't know what to expect because I never done the weird experiment of mixing Coke with coffee before. I'm sure people have, and I'm sure that this came from that idea.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say I've done it intentionally,
Oh,
but I've
right.
definitely just like had one or the other, and then poured the rest into a cup with a trace amount left.
Oh, and you have like the flavoring per se of like the
Yeah,
other.
it's not bad.
No, and that's what I'll say about this too. It's not bad, and it's as per usual with most Coke things. And I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but the vanilla variant of it is usually, I would say, Coke vanilla is one of my favorites.
I can't ever recall trying Coke vanilla.
It's pretty good. I like Coke vanilla a lot. I'm sure there's a diet version.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like those red like soda machines.
Oh, you're talking about the ones in like McDonald's
Yeah,
and different stuff like that.
So often I put vanilla into like different flavors of soda,
Yeah, and see what happens.
but I can't ever recall having Coca-Cola vanilla.
The one that's literally sold as that.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Have like sun-kissed vanilla.
I very much enjoy my vanilla ginger ale.
See, that seems like a perfectly good idea, which is vanilla ginger ale. That's
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Most calming thing for your stomach ever.
Yeah.
Vanilla ginger ale with your incredibly spicy burrito is an excellent contrast in flavors.
Yeah. You know what? I can dig that. That's perfect.
That's my Moe's order. By the way.
That's my Moe's go-to. So had that. I would say the Coke vanilla coffee was probably the best one out of the three, excluding the the non-calorie one, which I will not drink. But the rest of them pretty great. I would recommend having those as like a 4-pack if you're trying to like stay up late for whatever reason, and they got like a ton of caffeine in them.
Kevin, I just realized something.
Yeah.
I cannot stay up late anymore.
Oh really? Oh, because you have
got
a new job. Yeah.
Starting on next Tuesday.
Whoop whoop.
I will be working in Worcester, working banker's hours, which I have always like. When I was younger, I scoffed at the idea of the wage slavery that is 9 to 5.
But now that you've experienced the other extreme end of that,
it's like, oh my god, 9 to 5 sounds like a gift from God.
Well, what seems more like slave hours? A 16-hour shift or a 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm proud of you, Ted, and
Thanks.
I'm happy for you.
I have one more 16-hour shift.
Yeah.
But I changed it, so instead of working the morning to the evening, I'm working the evening and then the overnight.
Yes, okay.
So, all of my students that I'm close to and everything are going to wake up to a index card with my contact information and one of my dice on it.
Nice. Okay. You know what? Sweet, Ted.
Yeah. So there's Ted's going to act like Santa Claus for them.
Ah.
I also brought in my rabbit for them.
Nice.
I promised I'd do this around Easter for them.
Right, but you're not going to be. Yeah. Okay.
He was a very good boy.
Nice.
Now, rabbits get stressed out in cars.
Okay, that makes sense to me, really.
Yeah,
But,
no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because that's how you can actually bond them, either to a person or another rabbit.
Oh, is by having them have a traumatic experience in a car?
Yes.
It's sort of like that exposure therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
for a rabbit.
yeah, like when I first brought him home, Katie, well, you had a carrier, but Katie just held him in her arms.
Okay, to calm him down and everything.
Yeah, but it bonded them. It kind of died off because he saw me way more than her.
Right, but
after I got him out and he's in this new spot, he just because he was freaked out and just needed comfort, he just lied down on my lap.
aw, that's sweet.
And all the kids came over and they got to pet him and scratch him. I told him where he liked and everything, and he was a good boy.
Yeah, I still hate rabbits, but I appreciate this
Have you
love.
met Ryder yet?
I've met him.
Yeah,
I've gone to your house. Yeah, well, for a rabbit. Ted, I've already talked to you about several times during our D&D sessions about how much I hate rabbits.
I know you do. It still weirds me out.
Well, I know.
They're such fun animals.
They're not fun animals. They're literally a pest. They're like a pest that destroy gardens and destroy people's lives sometimes. That's what rabbits are.
I could say the same thing about your bulldogs.
No, they don't eat. Well, never mind. Let's go away from that.
Yeah.
All right. Bulldogs are more controllable than rabbits.
Hard disagree.
You never seen a spider bulldog? Well, you have, but you haven't seen how well they're trained, my friend.
Yes, I have.
Not by me. It's by my mom.
Oh.
So yeah,
sure.
She's the matriarch of the spider bulldog army. That's fine.
You know what? Spider Bulldog Army seems like an excellent segue into this week's RPG.
Actually, yeah. Actually, it really does. You're so right on that. It hurts. What did we play this week, Ted?
So, we played After the Bomb.
Yes, which is a
Palladium game.
Yes.
More importantly, it's part of their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangies line.
Yep, so this is going right off of TMNT 2, Secret of the Is.
Now, Kevin, I think I did a disservice to you when I was explaining this, because we flipped through the books, and I was kind of surprised. I remember there being more lore than there was.
Okay, right.
Turns out there still isn't much lore, but there is a bit more, but it's like Dark Souls-style lore.
Oh, where it's in the item description?
There's a bit more lore in the class descriptions for the origins.
Okay,
and you got a decent amount if you read the stories in the back.
Oh,
Or the modules give you a little bit more.
Right, it's not just explained to you in the pre-story basically.
Yes.
Okay, understood.
However, that's awful game design for a book.
Yeah, that's good for a game.
No, Dark Souls has a very interesting way.
Awful book design.
Awful book design.
Yeah.
I guess game design would fall too, but there's video game design, and then there's
role-playing book design. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Tabletop design.
Tabletop design. Don't hide your lore
in items and backstories in the
back.
But,
a lot of it is in
not items. Sorry, I keep
the modules in the back.
Yeah.
Or in the second book, the class descriptions, there was or origin, occupations, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Had some good lore in them.
Well, you know what this guy reminds me of is Mummy. A little bit,
yeah,
where it's okay, here's what happened, and nothing else following that. What are they supposed to do? Whatever. Here's your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It feels like the same kind of thing, but they actually have stories in the back with the modules.
Yes,
and it's not just a weird biker gang from hell.
No, though there is one of those sort of from the second book.
Okay, good.
So, here's how this works, and they've kind of refined the backstory of this game.
Yeah.
I think largely because they kind of made a new edition, made After the Bomb officially its own line, after they let their licensing of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle RPG expire. I think Nickelodeon bought it.
Yeah, good old Nickelodeon.
I haven't read that one, but I know it exists. So After the Bomb originally was just kind of a box standard. Bombs go boom. Most humans dead.
Yeah.
Mutant animals rise.
Yeah.
It's changed, and the new lore is hilarious, but also they brought up the tech level. This is something Palladium does quite often, because they kind of write their post-apocalyptic stuff as if it was the 80s and everything.
Right. So and then they transition to a later time period.
Yeah, it's like, oh, technology developed way different than what we expected.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, no, if you.
It's more like a cyberpunk thing, really. I mean, like technology-wise, going like.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought like this is something I thought like sci-fi needs to explore, like how different civilizations like just make radically different technology.
Right.
To the point where like if I had an idea for like a sci-fi book at one point where just how different species like they can't even comprehend the technology of another species when it comes to the high end because their brain just doesn't work that way.
Oh, okay. Right. It's totally alien.
Yeah, it's totally alien, but like
Yeah.
the aliens can sit down and try to tell you like
Right.
there's enough commonality where they can do it, but it'll just make no sense to humans. And
Right. Just
at
like
the
go
same
right
time,
over their head.
a human could explain theirs like maybe something is basically like formal logic.
Yeah.
And just not make sense to the aliens. Like that's just not how the world works, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense to me.
So in this one, in the newer lore,
yeah,
genetics really becomes the super science of the era.
Okay.
Way more is done than what we're doing with genetics.
Yeah.
The entirety of the human genome is mapped to the point where every possible human gene is known.
Okay. Right. Right.
As a result, we pretty quickly cure all the diseases. The lifespan basically goes up to infinity unless you get hit by a car or some trauma. You know, that's
and then you go into an isekai and you go into a totally different
exactly.
universe.
That's the only way like to die.
Yeah.
Is trauma or murder or something.
Like I say, just be hit by cars.
I mean, no, you get shot in the head.
Okay, yeah, I get you. But some sort of blunt, unexpected trauma.
Yes. And life is good.
Yeah. For
Especially
a while.
because, you know, we can worry about like overpopulation and everything, but also when you do this with plants,
then you have like
microbes.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the ability to grow large amounts of crops becomes a thing, and if you can change the microbiomes, you won't deplete the soil. You can make a very good bond with nature. You don't have to deforest or raise more farmland.
Yeah.
You can make special plants to trap moisture so you don't get dust bowls.
Yeah. You know what? Perfect. Okay. It's like a society I would want to live in. That's great.
Yes, and very quickly, people start mutating animals. Now, for the same reason as Pugmire, certain ones get evolved. I mean, a seeing-eye dog that can tell you, "Hey, stop," is really useful.
Yeah, I could see that.
Same thing with like a bomb sniffing dog. Like there's a lot
of bomb.
Yeah. Really just talking dogs in general would be super handy.
Yeah, I could see well, they would also be asking questions like why are my balls not here?
I think you would not neuter the dogs that you make super intelligent.
Yeah, I would not. I would think so too. But I would also ask, like, why are those dogs' balls? Is that going to happen to me? like, I mean,
I know enough people with vasectomies, so I feel like it's not that.
I mean, a vasectomy and what they get, is it really that similar?
I guess not. But also, I've had problems with that myself.
Okay, all right. Well,
speaking of which, I'm going to have my rabbit turned into a eunuch relatively shortly. So.
Okay, fair enough, Ted. Fair enough.
Which I'm still not comfortable with, but at the same time, I plan on introducing him to another rabbit soon, and I don't want him being aggressive.
Okay, fair.
Especially because he's 3 times her mass.
Right. So that would end maybe poorly.
He could kill it.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately.
Yeah.
I want him to be less aggressive.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But anyways, mutant animals rise and everything, and it's fun.
Yeah.
However, people eventually go, how can we be dicks with this new technology? And basically, everyone learns some pretty advanced genetics in, like, high school.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's kind of the base of their, society.
You know what I like to compare this to?
What?
Is, like, Minecraft mods. Like, like, you got people just trying to mod different things in Minecraft, and they could be, like, a giant penis. But, like, things like that, except it's with genetics, and it's terribly, it could also end in basically genocide. Like, we'll go on.
So that's what happens. So people start dicking around and making, like, flues and such, and just releasing them in class.
As you do.
And it takes about half an hour to cure these things.
Okay, right.
So basically, this is an excuse to like get out of school early.
Another pandemic. Oh no.
I know, right? But it's not a big deal.
It's very topical, actually.
Yeah.
Some just dick created this.
And eventually, someone really decides to be an asshole, and like it's just some kid. It's nothing like malicious. It's not a terrorist group.
Right.
But one guy goes, "Hey, what if we include every possible human gene in this? So if you make something that attacks the virus, chances are it will also attack the genetics of the human."
Ah, very good. Very good. Smart, but terrible.
So, anyways, this kills most people and even most animals because they use a decent amount of human genetics.
Yeah. I mean, would at that point would you? Okay, I know it's not intentional, but would at that point like wouldn't in like lore like a little bit like, and then the child came and he destroyed the whole entire population. The child shall forever be known as the destroyer or something.
Yeah, no, there definitely be some religion built around this.
Yeah, exactly. Like the child wiped out half of mankind, and then we shall forever never say his name or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not known. Like that's like it tells us that,
Right.
but like, no one knows that's the reason.
Oh, like they all think it's like different kind of theories.
They don't know what happened.
That's amazing. I love that idea. That's
like,
great.
What happened? Like 200 years ago, like most people just died.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Kind of reminds me of like Fallout a little bit, where like maybe there's like a holotape somewhere. Where it's like, that damn like Johnson again created another flu in class. Hopefully this one goes away pretty soon, and then just like next recording is like, we're all dead.
That's actually a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Now, with this comes a new cultures, new societies.
Yeah.
So we went through the first two books, and unfortunately, my phone broke, so I don't have it handy on me.
Oh yeah, I forgot your phone broke, so we don't have it in front of us.
Yeah, and I got my new phone right before I got here.
Yeah.
It's still downloading my old contacts as we speak.
Yeah.
So this is going to be from memory.
You sent me like a carrier pigeon that said your phone broke, and I was like, oh, okay, that's not good.
Yeah. So, the two main civilizations in kind of the New Englandy area.
Yeah.
Because all civilization starts in New England.
Of course, and ends.
Yes. Not New York. New York is actually a hellhole of this, as it is in real life.
That never changes.
No, pre and post apocalypse.
Yeah, it always stays the same. One thing you can count on is New York being a hellhole.
Yeah, it's called New Yak.
Yeah, New Yak.
Or Enyak. I don't really know how to pronounce it.
Let's go with Enyak.
Yeah. So there is a Palladium staple.
Yeah, which is
a human empire.
That's evil.
That's evil, and is obsessed with power armor.
Yeah, that's a pretty good staple to have.
This is just something in almost every Palladium game for some reason. There's going to be humans. They're going to have a lot of tech, and it's going to be power armor based.
Are they always evil?
Pretty much. There is literally one exception.
Okay. All right, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, that's a game. I own the books for that one.
Okay, good. All right, we'll get there.
Yeah, that one we're going to play. That one you have no choice. But the humans, there aren't many of them.
Yeah.
And they live in Techville.
You know, I know we've given crap to Palladium's naming conventions before, but I love this name. You know why? Straight to the point. They have tech. It's a ville.
Yeah, there's only about 20,000 humans in this, and it's built around the last working nuclear reactor on Earth.
Yeah, so you know they're good guys. They have a nuclear reactor.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wondering, wow, how does 20,000 people dominate a civilization or a world to be like an actual villain? Don't worry. They have about 500,000 animal slaves.
Yeah, as you do. And what's the best kind of slave to have? It's a dog.
So the dogs are not slaves.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
The dogs
are a sovereign nation.
Yeah, so the dogs are second-class citizens.
Okay, right.
Or like legal residents, I guess would be a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
Kind of like American Samoans.
Ah. Understood.
All the
very dark.
American Samoans. All the obligations, but you can't vote.
Yeah, well, it's like women used to be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Samoans. I love your cookies.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
American Samoans per capita have the highest enlistment rate into the armed forces. And there is no veteran services in American Samoa. The closest one's in Hawaii.
You know, I will say one thing about America. Not perfect.
No. Glad it fell.
Yeah, same here. All right, continue. We're gonna put on a list.
Kevin,
Duncan list.
You think I'm not already on several?
Well, that's because your name is similar to another guy who's like that, I bet.
I've had multiple calls from the FBI.
Okay, good. Hey, Ted, we saw you buying all these weapons. Medieval weapons, sure, but still.
Yeah. Quick tangent. I need to tell you why my eBay account got banned.
Okay, why?
So, years ago, I was trying to buy my girlfriend at the time some notebooks.
Yeah.
And she was in a chemistry course, so they have these hexagon ones.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a hexagons being put together into grid. It's all stainless steel. It looks like a honeycomb.
Yeah.
But so you can put the atomic structures and everything on it and everything.
That's really cool.
And I found some of them very cheap on eBay.
Yeah.
And I bought several of them.
Yeah.
My account got put out of commission for suspicious activity.
Because you bought a bunch of
chemistry notebooks.
Well, okay. I can kind of see the correlation there, but it's still BS.
But this is what you get if you're a chemistry student.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a little...
There is a definitive reason for these to exist. There is a niche market for sure, but it is for students of chemistry.
I mean, yeah, okay. That's I can see why you're BSing on that. That's fair.
Really bugged me.
Yeah. Okay. How do you lodge a complaint? Is it just please don't ban me on eBay?
It was more of a this. I didn't use eBay for several years prior to this.
Yeah.
I used it in high school, and that was about it.
Right.
Basically, I used it to get cheap Warhammer models.
Okay.
Still also a really good source of cheap Warhammer models.
Yeah.
You want a cheap painted army? eBay. But
someone from FBI just got contacted keeps on buying cheap Warhammer novels. Let's just pin them on the chemistry notebooks.
It really bugged
I hate this guy.
It's I logged in the first time in a while. Set up my PayPal again because I forgot the passwords and everything.
Right.
Buy notebooks, banned.
Ted to make his glorious return to eBay only to get banned immediately.
So stupid.
For no reason, really.
Yeah. So, back to this. Now, there are dogs, and they do have their own puppet city state. There's 200,000 of them plus some slaves. And it has Kevin's favorite name.
Is it? I forget.
You love this name.
Oh my God! I forgot the. I think I wrote it down. What is it? It's God. What is it? Is it Kennel? The Kennel.
New Kennel.
New Kennel. Yes. Okay.
New Kennel.
Yes. Okay. That's it.
Which is an awesome name.
It's much better than Techville. Yeah.
And it's where the dogs live.
It's where the dogs go.
And they're basically a puppet state.
Yeah.
They get tech in exchange for labor. Both sides are happy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can see them wagging their tails.
Exactly. But there is, of course, a free state. This one randomly super democratic animal-human civilization. Kevin, what did we call this? Just honestly, neither of us were sure how to pronounce it.
Oh God, yeah, it was what was that pronunciation? It was
Cardian?
Yeah, it was either Cardian or Cardia.
Cardia, let's go Cardia. That's more countryish.
Yeah, it was weird. That was a weird name that I did not know how to pronounce.
Yeah, Cardia, which is just starting to get kind of back to the not basics, back to an industrial standard.
Right, where they have firearms and such.
Yes. Now you can buy those, but
which are super expensive.
Yeah, they can now manufacture them.
Yeah.
They also issue their own paper currency.
Yeah.
The buck.
Yes. And if I remember correctly, there was 4 pieces to a buck.
4 bits to a buck.
4 bits to a buck.
And that's the only bit of currency they have.
Yeah.
Now, if you're wondering how this works for currency and everything, okay, so here's how this works. A loaf of bread, 1 bit.
Which is a part of a buck.
Yes.
1 bit.
One,
That's part
one
of it.
quarter.
1/4. Okay. Good.
A day's labor.
Yeah.
$1.
Okay. So you can buy a bit of bread for $1.
You can buy 4 loaves of bread for
$1.
$1.
Yes. Four bits of bread for $1.
No. You buy loaves of breads.
Well, 4 bits, as in bits of like bits, and then you buy a loaf of bread for each bit. So you can buy four bits of bread for $1.
Yes.
Someone correct me on that. That's right.
Yeah, but that is like the most confusing way of putting it. You can buy 4 loaves of
Of
bread for $1, but
for 4 bits, which is $1.
I don't know why you're raising.
I'm not. Like, keep going.
Now, for more like modern things,
Yeah, like a gun.
yeah, it costs the same amount of bucks that it costs in current day. Now, the problem is, like $1 in ours compared to theirs is
different.
way weaker.
Yeah. Okay.
But to get a good gun, you might have to spend $400. Yeah, which is a lot.
A bit. 800 bits. No, wait, no. It's 1,200. It's 1,600 bits.
Thank you.
1,600 bits for $400, which equals maybe a snub of a gun.
All right, this is bugging me, but I'm just gonna make Kevin embrace this now.
Okay.
Now, if it's a manufactured item,
Okay.
it costs 3 times as much.
Okay. Okay. So it's a manufactured item, like a manufactured gun, which
Like
would cost
manufactured
$400.
currently.
Okay.
Like not an antique one from pre-apocalypse.
Right. So a new gun would cost not $400, but 4 times 3, which is $1,200, which would be 400 bits per. No, it'd be 4 bits per buck. So it'd be 4 times the $1,200, which would be a lot.
I was wondering when you'd quit.
Yeah, which would be a lot of bits.
Now,
for bucks.
if you're a soldier, you get $2 a day.
Okay. So, a lot. Yeah.
A house costs about $35 to rent a month, so you really need a family unit to kind of live.
Yeah, where everyone's kind of chipping in, like a modern, like New York household.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
But let's say you're not one of these city slickers working the 9 to 5 grind, which I am looking forward to in my life.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of bucks.
Actually, yeah, I gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, you can buy so many bits.
No, not really.
No,
I had to negotiate quite a bit.
You can get a lot of bread.
Yeah, actually, I'm making more or less the same amount, if not a slight pay cut because I can't work OT. Anyways,
okay.
Kevin, I'm really off the topic now. You really got me with this bits and bucks.
No, it's fine. It's
the worst part is we're talking about. We have more. You can be a scout.
Yes.
And this is one of those things where scouts are not explained except in one paragraph in the description of the city, and then in their description.
Ah, okay.
So scouts are the seekers, the venturers of this world.
Yeah.
And given that a lot of people are from either small enclaves or rural lifestyles, there's a lot of these.
Right.
And basically they're people that are trusted by the government enough to go out and either find artifacts or information.
Right, to help better their society in a certain way.
Sell it to them.
Yeah.
And
for bucks.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do in this game.
Okay.
You basically play scouts because you're always looking out for odd jobs, but you've kind of proven yourself to be trustworthy sources.
Yeah, where they'll trust you to do these kind of things or send you out specifically with information.
So that's where you are. You're sort of these semi-independent contractors.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, you're trying to get your own pay there, trying to survive in this world. And you can be any sort of alignment there.
Yeah, anything but neutral. Because there are no neutral alignments.
No. There's definitely no neutral alignments whatsoever. No true neutrals. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And we got that.
Now, Kevin, do you have anything you want to say before we go through our characters?
No. Okay. What do deer people? Well, I guess they're not called bucks at that point, are they?
I don't know.
Yeah. Got does, but do you call them like bucks or like?
Bring home the dough.
Oh, see, there's so much money in these deers. I get it now. All right, I like it. Bring home the dough to meet Ma. Yeah, I get you.
Man, I love like the weird, like the older sayings for like money.
Oh, clams.
Yes, I love that. Interesting enough, Great Depression era. There was a in Florida some clamshells.
Oh, he used his currency?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Chicago printed its own money. There's the
Oh,
Chicago dollar.
that's pretty beautiful right there. I
Yeah.
mean, what about like cheddar? Like that term for money?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. I know the bread thing. Like it's interesting because like bring home the dough is obvious.
Right.
But the upper crust refers to the good part of the bread because it cut off the bit at the bottom and so sell that.
The upper crust.
Yeah,
Yeah. That makes it right.
Yeah.
A lot of bread metaphors in this world.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go back to the Roman Empire, you would be worth your salt because you got paid in that.
Yes, of course. Yes. You need salt to live. So that's yeah, it makes
There's a
sense
lot
to
of
me.
interesting metaphors with money.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it. But going from there, let's talk about our characters.
Yeah, so we, of course, rolled.
Yes.
Because if you're playing a Palladium game, you don't roll for something, you are doing it wrong.
Oh, after we talk about our characters, are we going to talk about the West Coast?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Because
we have both East Coast
and
characters.
we happen to both roll East Coast characters.
Yeah. There we are.
Now, we both rolled and we got different backgrounds. So the backgrounds of this are obviously different. Of course, there's different people in the cities and everything, but most characters come from smaller autonomous communities.
Yes.
But there is still a 4% chance you're just a ninja.
I mean, there's always that shot. I mean, that you had some sort of ninja training in this post-apocalyptic world. Yeah.
Yep.
You know what stays strong regardless is Twinkies and ninjas, apparently.
Exactly.
Those always survive anything.
Now, Kevin, tell me about your character.
Okay. We have got Michael Motre.
And what's his species?
He is a mole, so his nickname is Monty, as in Monty Mole. But one thing about him is that he was part of a militia in a small town.
Yeah, so a lot of the towns have to be heavily militarized.
Of course.
Now, not only is there the New Human Empire and New Kendall and everything, I think the New Human Empire is actually from Trinity Blood.
Right. Yeah. I believe that's true.
Yeah, whatever. The Human Empire, it's the freaking same thing.
Yeah. Techville.
Techville. Yeah, thank you. We'll use that. Which is an empire. There is an emperor. I don't know. No explanation on how there was an emperor put into this.
You think he's just called the Emperor?
No, he has like some really. His name is like Christian something.
Oh, like you mean Christian as in the religious thing,
or
like
just
the
name?
Christian.
Yeah,
okay.
like I mean, we know a couple Christians.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, it's very true.
Which, the more I think about it, the more that name gets confusing.
Yeah, I mean, there's not anybody named Jewish. You know what I mean?
I'm Muslim.
I'm I'm Buddhist. Hello, Buddhist. I'm Dad.
Oh man, that gets better. It's like, hi, I'm Zoroastrianism.
So is Ashism. I'm Dad.
I actually did. So I used to do like this after school program. During high school and everything, I worked for the local youth center.
Yeah.
We did have a girl named Pagan.
Ah.
I don't know what her religion was.
Wiccan.
I was always hoping it was like mainline Protestantism.
Oh, and they just named her Pagan, or just like the hell of it. Yeah, that's. I love that idea. That's great. Yeah, that's my daughter Jewish. We're devoutly Catholic.
This is my son's Satanist.
Yeah, and we're new evangelists. Yeah, of course. Name them what you fear. That's what I always say.
Yeah, no. Generally, the name of the emperor in these are just generally like a friend or a child of the author.
Yeah, of course. All right.
So, Eric Wujek.
Ah.
Probably just knew a guy that he wanted to put in the book.
That's fair. Okay. I love how you have to present the picture every time. You're like, it's never the deer.
One of these days, we're going to listen to old episodes of Gateway to the Megaverse.
Yeah.
The 2010 Palladium podcast.
Yeah.
And we'll see why I requested the photos of the
deer.
Palladium deer.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it came with an actual photograph.
Like a Polaroid of like.
I don't know why. I know we've talked about this before, but it brings me endless happiness.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You know what? Yeah, me too. Me too, Ted. I'm so glad you got that.
Somewhere I have one of Kevin's paperweights.
Oh yes. Oh my god. Yeah, that's amazing too. We can keep all our Palladium like character sheets underneath those
Welcome to Downtime the Apocalypse, a podcast where we talk about Palladium books.
every day. Where do we go from here? Oh yeah, characters.
So your mole man, the militarized communities. Now there's also a bunch of mutant animals, like not just this, but you can also just fight giant half crocodiles, half possums.
Yeah.
So that's just a thing you might have to deal with in any given day.
Yeah, I mean that's just something that's around there. I mean, it's like Australia present day. You just have to fight giant things like mutant kangaroos.
This is why they built canals around their cities. They're
Yeah.
basically massive moats.
Yeah, to stop stop like the hordes of tarantulas and other scary creatures from crossing.
Yeah, interesting enough, it's like the old Tenochtitlan where they have like the floating gardens in there.
Oh yes, okay. Yeah.
Australia, basically the Aztecs.
Yeah. All right, I agree with that. They usually cut off the limbs of people who win their basketball-esque games, or rugby as they call it.
Yeah, well, ever wonder why soccer is not played with arms?
Makes sense. They cut off. I get you now. All right, perfect, Ted. Just keep that head and legs going, I guess. Oh, by the way, it's pronounced football.
Oh, football. Sorry.
Football. Yeah. So going from there, Monty the Mole Man is mostly man and mole. So he is one thing, full speech.
Yes.
Second thing, bipedal.
Good.
He has weird mole hands and fingies that can dig and do a bunch of crap.
He has full hands?
He has full human hands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Full
Okay.
human hands, very important.
His size is up, so he's not a tiny mole.
That's good.
Yeah, and he has excavating. So I wanted to go for a sort of remember like those kind of people that would dig behind the walls of a castle.
Sappers.
I love that idea.
Yeah, no, sappers were such a cool idea in like world history. I wish more like games had sappers as units.
Yeah, I mean that's always fun to me.
The only thing I can think of is in Warhammer Fantasy, you could have a unit if you're playing dwarves of dwarven miners who are just kind of conscripts.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
But they sucked.
Oh, okay.
Mostly,
not so cool.
Look, with all Warhammer, if you're kind of bringing them in the middle of battle, there's a few ways it can happen. Either infiltrating from the side of the board, which is fine. It just means they come in a turn later or two.
Yeah.
Which works because they come in on the side of the board and you can adjust the situation. But if they just come from the middle, like up and everything, there's always they scatter a little bit because they can't tell. And if they land on bad terrain or unit, you have to roll on this mishap table.
Oh.
And it gets a little bit worse when it comes to these fantasy dwarves because there was just a 1/6 chance they just got lost.
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but
it sucks though.
Yeah, it sucked. There was like one good dwarf army in that, and it was not the cool one.
Oh,
okay. They have these dwarf berserkers and wear armor and everything.
That's always cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but they lost their honor and like can get it back through a glorious death.
Yeah, that's great.
You don't want ever use those; they suck.
Oh, okay.
No, you want a bunch of guys with muskets, and you take musket guys until you have to take guys with crossbows, and then you take 3 cannons, and your leader's an engineer.
All right.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Shoot things. You make a crisscross pattern of just death.
Yeah. It's like modern military.
Yeah. It was but it's not very satisfying to play.
No, I would expect that's really boring to play.
Yeah, it's very. If I wanted to play a Napoleonic war game, I'd play a Napoleonic war game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Way to bring down this fantasy with your crisscrossing patterns.
Not only that, here's the next thing. Dwarves don't have magic in that game. There's one magic item they can use that sucks.
Oh, okay.
But they are super resistant to magic.
Oh, okay.
So it even reduces the amount of magic your opponent does.
Oh, that's kind of a neutralizing kind of thing there. I like that.
Yes, but it does make it way closer to Napoleonic
warfare. Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Which sucks.
It's not what I want in my fantasy war game. I want to play dwarves, but I don't want them to just be people that are short.
You want to shoot some fireballs? I don't think so, friend. We're playing dwarves with guns and also crossbows.
Look, from when I did play it, when just denying like my sorcerer friends' army, like magic stuff,
Okay.
was the funnest part because you could take like priest and get even more resistant dice.
Nice.
So
Okay.
you can't just go like this was just because I knew my local meta.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And ready, level, fire.
Yep. Okay. Perfect.
Which saying that sounds more satisfying than it actually was.
I mean, this also reminds me of your magic decks I used to play as well, which were just to annoy people.
Oh yeah, I still do that.
Yeah, I know.
I print out proxy decks and just play my students with stupid decks.
Yeah,
Like,
nice.
what are you playing? No win conditions, all counters.
Ah, very good. Very good. That's the best. Okay.
Yeah, that it gets bad because I occasionally just loan out these to people and I don't tell them what it is.
Ah, okay.
So like, here's the deck of all fogs.
Have fun.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Let's talk about your guy.
yes, so I rolled a much more unfortunate character.
I mean, yeah and no.
So he was a slave
Yes.
who escaped, and he escaped because he is a mutant bat who can not only fly, but he can't talk, but he can use psychic powers.
Yes.
To be precise, he has two that matter.
And I'm glad we rolled this psychic character so we could have the ability
I
to talk
rolled
about
high
these
enough
psychic
to
characters.
make a psychic character this time.
Yes.
So I have two. One is telepathic transmission, which basically meant me talking to your brain.
Yep.
And the second one, hypnotic suggestion, which can make someone do something that isn't completely counter. Maybe they take their break early.
I mean, it's sort of like what's that spell from D&D?
Suggestion.
Yeah, suggest. It's like almost exactly suggestion.
Yeah, it almost word for word.
Yeah.
Nothing self-harm, nothing really against their character, but
Unless they're suicidal.
yeah, but I mean, I don't think suggestion says that. Palladium's might, but
Well, Palladium's definitely said that because you read it out loud. It was like, unless they're suicidal, then you can tell them to kill themselves. But otherwise, they're fine.
yeah, but just it's not. You don't do that. You just say, take your break early today.
Yeah.
Don't you have to wash the bathroom? Did you leave the kettle on? That sort of thing.
Yeah, that's sort of like suggestion. Yes, I like that.
Besides that, though, he does have full hands and flight. Nothing else, though. He has no human appearance, which, by the way, in this game,
Yeah.
either go full human appearance or no human appearance.
Yeah, either go full human or monster.
Like, in the normal Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you might be able to put on, like, a hoodie or something and you'll pass. In this game, probably not going to be an issue. You're either going to pass as full human or you're not.
Yeah.
So, either commit to it or don't waste the points.
Yeah, no, I agree.
My character doesn't even have that, though. He's not bipedal at all or anything. So I think he's partially bipedal, but that came from being a bat.
Yeah, which I guess that doesn't really make sense, but I mean, that's fine. I've never seen like a bat do this before where it's like walking on 2 feet towards you.
No, but I mean, even if it didn't, I'm just reading that wrong. I mean, he could just hang from the ceiling and then pull out a gun.
I like that idea. That's a good image to have right there.
Yeah.
Just like hanging from a tree branch, just waiting. Yeah, waiting.
Now, bats did come with some nice stat bonuses, but this is Palladium, so none of them matter.
Yep. There should be like a caveat under every podcast we do where it's like, yeah, if we're doing like a Palladium thing, none of the stats matter. Except if it's over 16 or 17.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
But even like I got some nice bonuses from being an ex-slave. I was tougher. I have more SDC, Kevin's favorite system.
It's the worst system.
And I got 5 more physical strength, which, given my size, brought down my strength by 1. And then plus 5, that brought my strength to a nice 10.
Yeah.
Which, not very useful.
No.
And my skills basically all suck because I was an uneducated slave. Like, I'm not literate.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a big thing.
I have hand-to-hand basic, wilderness survival, prowl, but then the rest are like just generic stuff. I have sewing, cooking. I did get the chance to take 2 military skills, so I have demolition, pilot, tank.
Yep, and I have I got a chance to take 3. So I took demolition disposal, very important, and pilot tank.
Now it's interesting enough that they still haven't added more
skills to military and stuff, like anything.
Yeah. Now I'm also, because of my ex-slave status, like I automatically had escape artist and survival at 50 and 30% respectively.
Nice. Okay. Gotcha. Nice.
Now, my character, when he first escaped and went towards New England,
Ah.
which is relatively close to where he started, anyways.
Yes.
And he only knew how to read a little bit, and he hooked up with a few people before he. Well, actually, I think I met you at this point because we stole a tank together. Wasn't that the story we came back?
So I went to I went to go acquisition a tank, and then you stole the tank that I was looking to acquisition. I went out with you. We managed to meet up together, but you broke the tank that I was looking
That's
for.
what we went with.
It's sort of almost like Ash and Misty kind of situation here, where you broke my tank and I'm looking for a new tank, and you better get me the new tank.
Yeah, but because I can't read very well, eventually we were going through this old stadium.
Yes.
And TOMBR, I think it's an ADY.
Yeah. Tomb Rady.
Tomb Rady.
And what's even great is your accuracy is amazing. So
yeah, he just walks around wearing this Tom Brady shirt, but he doesn't understand spacing.
Yeah.
So it's
Tomb Rady.
Yes, I'm Tomb Rady.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Yeah, I remember I was talking about this before. Now, okay,
I'm
good.
very happy with that name.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Tomb Rady the Bat.
Tomb Rady the Bat. Beautiful, beautiful. 7-time champion. Tomb Rady.
I'm really good at rating those tombs. I'm a Tomb Raider.
Talking about Tomb Raider earlier.
Yeah.
Yes. So
never do that again.
Okay. I make no promises.
Now, unfortunately, I am only hand-to-hand basic, and I have no weapon proficiencies.
I mean, that yeah. But you have suggestions. So
also, I had basically no money, so I have like padded armor and some food.
Which is nice. Talking about weapons there, one thing I thought would be cool for a mole to have is a combat shovel. So yeah, just having like that army's issued shovel where you can dig, but you can also cut a guy in half.
Yeah, good news about just like games like this where the pricing system's so easy.
Yeah,
just look it up.
Yeah, just look it up on your phone, and then you'll find how many bucks you need.
Yeah.
4 bits.
Yeah. How many bits to a buck?
4 bits to a buck.
Okay.
Yes.
Kevin, at this point, I think we need to start issuing our own currency.
Call it what? And bits and bucks.
Yeah. The downtime buck.
Oh, I like that. The apocalyptic downtime buck. Yes. Apocalyptic bits.
I might make a merch store after this, guys.
I like that a lot, actually. You know what'd be great is, you know how sometimes there's like coins for different like fantasy games and everything? Just like make up the paper money and the bits and just have that as like your Monopoly money and like your coins for when you trade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great. I love that idea. Ted, we're sitting on $1 million here. 1,000,000 bits, which would be a certain amount of bucks.
Yeah, unfortunately, the buck to dollar conversion rates.
No, it's not great. But hey, we're trying to make it stronger. We're going the crypto route. Eventually, it'll explode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone has a original Norden buck, let me know.
Yes. Okay.
Because I want some Norden bucks. On that note, have I talked about buying Roman currency on this before?
No, I don't think so.
Denarii are shockingly cheap.
Oh, is that the silver
yes,
coin?
Yes, it was the silver coin.
Yeah.
They're like $60 a pop.
Yeah, that is shockingly cheap.
And like it's cheaper if you just basically go to like one of the main people and you want a reputable coin.
Yeah.
Reputable.
Reputable.
But you don't care what era it's from, it's like 40.
Ah, okay. All right.
But like I want, for various reasons, a pre-crucifixion era coin.
So,
do you want to know the reason, or should I leave that up to your imagination?
I can imagine like a lot of different things with you. But yeah, actually, okay. Here's what we'll do to make it kind of interesting. Just a little bit here. Just tell me like hot or cold.
Okay.
Okay. Is it for a game?
Cold.
Okay. Is it for a friend who wants one?
Lukewarm.
Okay. Is it for a weird Belgian friend that wants one?
Cold.
Okay. Good. Let's get that out of there. All right. Let me think. Is it for a? You said Luke on for a friend that wants one. Is it closer to a family member?
Cold.
Is it closer to you?
Cold.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Maybe I should do this. It is a gift.
Oh, it's a gift for a friend.
Yes.
Okay. Do I know this friend?
No.
Okay. Cold. So all right. That's interesting. Is this a friend who lives in this country?
Hot.
Ah, okay. You know what? I think I found it out. Birthday gift for a friend.
No.
Oh, Valentine's Day gift?
No.
No, it wouldn't be Katie because I don't know him.
You know Katie? You've met Katie.
That's what I'm saying. It
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
be Katie because I know
Oh, yeah.
her. That's weird. Okay. Is it for? It's not for a relative. It's for a friend specifically. All right. I'm gonna come back to this. We're gonna come
Okay.
back to this because we still have to talk about the West Coast.
Yes. Okay. So we've talked about our characters.
But before we do that, let's have a little break in between right now because we need some coffee.
Okay.
And
And we're back with Duncan's approved coffee.
yes, drink Dunkin' or go home.
Now, I have a Duncan approved non-Duncan coffee, the Coca-Cola coffee, the dark blend. And I can say it tastes exactly like when you have a mug and you put Coke into a mug you just drank coffee out of.
Either your dishwasher doesn't work or you just didn't want to wash out the dishes by hand. Just re-pour the Coke into a coffee cup.
Yeah, well, I just prefer drinking out of mugs than glasses.
Depends on what it is. If I'm like having iced tea, I will not have it out of a mug.
I drink everything out of mugs.
I just can't. Unless it's like a mason jar. I can do that.
I hate those.
You hate mason jars?
No, I hate like the mason jar mug things, like the ones with handles.
Oh, instead of just like the mason jar?
Yeah, no, if you're drinking a mason jar, that's fine. You can do that. Look, I have exactly two scenarios. You either have to be from the South or you have to be a witch.
If you're drinking a mason jar with a
You
handle?
if you're drinking a mason jar, mason jar, those are situations.
You have to be a witch or from the South.
Okay, look. Witches have a weird thing with mason jars.
I've never heard of this. Really?
I'm dating one. I know. Trust me.
Oh, you're saying okay. I was thinking like green nosed witches.
No, Wiccans.
Okay.
Like it's a thing. Like even on their TikTok, like they'll occasionally make fun of each other about
their
how
mason
much
jars.
they love mason jars. It's a thing.
Okay. I see. The only I thought you said witches, where I was like, I'm just imagining like a green nosed witch, for some reason has a mason jar. Like has a southern style mason jar. For
Southerners and witches can just have mason jars. Everyone else use a mug.
See, Ted, like sometimes here's the thing. I 90% of the time I believe you on like most things, except for like maybe like Kurt Cobain and some other stuff. But sometimes like there's some like 10% where I hear like, oh yeah, witches use mason jars exclusively. It's like where I misheard you, obviously.
I'm about to say, do you want me to call Katie right now? We can get her on the phone. She'll back me up on this.
The difference between a witch and a Wiccan in my head is
one
has like
that's fair.
Yeah, like one has like green skin, one does not. That's like my understanding. Like a hag.
I just refer to Wiccans as witches.
Okay, see I didn't know that. Okay, fair enough, Ted.
But yeah,
modern day witches.
Wiccans. I mean, now that black magic has returned, the distinction's very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are mason jars. I don't get it. If you ever need to get Katie a gift, mason jars.
Mason jars. Fair. All right. So going from mason jars and also the deep south, let's go to a different coast, a west coast, if you will.
Yeah, the west coast is more interesting than the east coast. So east coast, I mean, it gives some lore about the surrounding areas. There's the rodent cartels of Enyak and such.
Yes. Go on, Ted. Sorry.
That's the thing in the book.
I know.
But the West Coast is a lot less generic.
Yeah, it's got more style and individuality to it.
And it's interesting because the roads are really what makes the West Coast in this.
Yes.
The highways were well preserved. And this is one of those things where you have to read the lore.
Yeah.
There are like clans and families of highway engineers that try to keep these sciences and maintenance equipment alive and try to figure out how to reverse engineer and make more.
Yeah.
So, like, preserving, maintaining, creating roads is a tradition that's deep in their culture. They took they took some, like, the biker gangs, but they don't have any cultural, touchstones to that.
Right.
So it's not like, oh, they sell drugs or anything. It's like, no, they dress in leathers because that's armor. They're kind of a police force.
Right.
Now, there are, to the north, a different culture, the Roadhogs, which is what it's named, that are sort of...
Also an Overwatch character.
Yeah. I did not know that, actually. That are sort of the more traditional we think of, but those are sort of an abomination to their corruption of a tradition they have.
Yeah. So not the intentions that are set out here, just sort of like an abomination, a good way to say it, or like just like a weird offshoot.
Yeah, it's almost like a parody. It's taking something sacred to them and just twisting it.
Yes, exactly.
Which is an interesting culture. Like, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Now, because of that, vehicles are a much bigger part of the second one. And there's extensive rules on vehicle maintenance and a bunch of new skills involving them.
Wouldn't be Palladium without extensive rules and over the top kind of maintenance.
Like a quarter of the rules in that book
are cars.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes
motorcycles.
Sense. Yeah. If it didn't have motorcycles, I'd be calling BS all over this.
Yeah, and interesting enough, a large amount of how barter works and how you can learn skills through bartering, which the economy makes so little sense. Now, they still use the same bits and bucks from the East Coast, which makes no sense. However, they're not as common.
Oh, okay. So it's a little bit more rare to get some paper money.
So barter is more important.
Ah, okay.
Which is interesting because with like the random protecting roving gangs, I don't know how they get paid regularly.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Are they like taxes? Are they got like an actual police force? Like that'd be something. Like if do you hire like a company, like almost like a mercenaries or security company if you're trying to make it less shady sounding.
Right.
Or if you're trying to make it more corporate, a private military company. Or PMCs.
Or is it sort of like a militia thing where it's like conscripted and you have to do this?
Or maybe it's something like almost an honor. You volunteer for this. It's a great joy if you have someone in the family.
Or maybe they need something to pay for college and they just joined this.
Yeah. Well, no, like they actually, like one of the examples they give is like some guy teaching someone how to repair mufflers in exchange for them making X number of pairs of socks for them.
Oh, okay. I mean, teach a man to fix mufflers, he'll survive a whole village of motorcycles there. I get you.
Yeah, but every car looks like it's from Cuba.
As in, and if we haven't explained this before, a lot of old cars in Cuba.
Yeah, so I've been to Cuba.
Yep.
And that's true to an extent. However, there's just one thing we kind of forgot.
Yeah.
The Soviets existed and made cars.
They did exist and they did make cars. Very true.
So there were less cars coming in than there should have been. Some did come in from the Soviet Union, and once they fell, that's when they had to get weird.
Okay. That's when they had to get creative, you could say.
They can import cars from Russia and everything. Russia Airlines just flies directly to Cuba.
Yeah.
But a lot of their cars are what they call Frankensteins.
As in a conglomeration of different parts and pieces. Yes, okay.
So like it's interesting because sometimes you'll just have like these older model frames.
Yeah.
Because they last forever.
Right.
And everything inside is just Soviet. I drove in a pink Cadillac with a Soviet engine.
Pink Cadillac. Yeah.
So that's why it was that one. It was exactly that.
That's great. I like that a lot. Have you ever heard that song by Dennis Leary, like Asshole?
No.
I'm an asshole.
Oh, I have heard that, yes.
Hey. Yeah. And one of the things is like, I want to drive a pink Cadillac with baby seals for the headlights. And like, I'm an asshole. Like, yeah. Then we'll unfreeze, what's his name? John Wayne. And then we'll say, like, he'll complain for 10 hours about how everything sucks now. Like, yeah, a great song if you haven't listened to it before. I love that song.
All right. So actually, speaking of John Wayne, the missions in the back of this book are amazing because there is just basically the Magnificent Seven. There's a lot of spaghetti western stuff where instead of riding a horse, you have a motorcycle.
Yeah, which is cool. I like that a lot. That's great.
Yeah, and it has my favorite origin.
Oh, okay.
So this game has psychics.
Yeah.
But there's a psychic mechanic in this, and I think it's hilarious because they have no actual skill with vehicles. They'll do some repairs, but their psychic powers keeps it together.
Ah, okay.
But it only works as long as they're within 500 feet. After that, it breaks down in like an hour.
Ah. So this person could technically sell lemons to billions of people, and
Yeah.
then just like,
But here's the thing, though: unless like extensive research is done,
yeah,
there is no like in-game way for you to know you have that power.
oh my god, that's amazing.
You just think
Yeah.
you were like a savant mechanic, and people just like treat your engines you fix wrong badly as soon as they're out of sight. It's like, what the hell did you do, man? I was gone for 5 minutes.
It works when I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
I wish we rolled for that. That'd be great.
Yeah, the West Coast is just, I mean, it's more interesting. It has a more cultural grounding, and that's sort of how these work.
Right.
I mean, even in almost every RPG, the first book is where you get kind of the generic classes.
Right, so you can set the stage.
Yeah, and then after that, it gets more and more culturally specific.
Right.
Sometimes
That's when you can have a couple weird ideas.
Yeah, but I think they did a very good job on the West Coast in that because it's an interesting take on the culture there.
Right, right.
Like, if I think West Coast, my first thought isn't biker gangs. When I think West Coast, my first thought isn't highways.
Right.
But that's what survived, and that's what the culture there was founded on. And that's an interesting idea.
Right, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, you take some inspiration there, and then you kind of just roll with it, and then
and
create
then
it on your own.
that's like, well, it's also like, but like they maintain it down to like Mexico, the highways and everything.
Right, right.
So that's where you can go flat out down there and like have a Western adventure,
Which
and
is
then go
great.
up north and fight biker gangs proper.
Yeah, yeah. You could have like the Alamo, and then just later on a little biker challenge, little Mad Max.
Yeah, or if you're on the East Coast, you can do some, rebel work to free a bunch of slaves, and you can go into ancient ruins to try to find artifacts.
Which is cool. You have that diversity right there.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do. Now, of course, there is something. The human empire is behind everything, including the evil biker gangs, the Roadhogs.
Why?
I don't know.
So, like, they
I
pay
know-
the Roadhogs?
I think it's in exchange, like the Roadhogs are slavers.
Oh, so that's where they get their slaves from?
They get extra slaves from the West Coast in exchange for like motorcycles and stuff.
Yeah, but then they don't have the same technology that like the new kennel has.
Yeah, well, New Kennel's trusted it. Like, let's be honest.
Right.
If humans and dogs teaming up makes perfect sense to me.
Right, right.
Literally,
Humans and pigs, not so much.
yeah, pigs you keep at arm's length. Pigs is a barter sort of thing. Like, we give you X amount of we give you a motorcycle per 10 slaves.
Weirdly enough, pigs are smarter than dogs.
Yeah,
I guess that's also why you keep them at arm's length. Okay, that's fair.
Pigs are, but like, I forget where it was. Like, I remember like an actual nature documentary, not a YouTube one,
Yeah, yeah.
or even I don't know. I say that, but I've watched some reputable YouTube ones. Hell, I remember I watched SciShow once and talked about something, and then like 3 weeks later, when I was working in the library,
Yeah.
all the academic journals were talking about the same thing.
Oh, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was talking about like how like our microbiomes, and like how many of our cells are not human cells, and how many different bacteria we have living in us cooperatively.
Right.
And he talked about it, and I guess he just talked about it because it was cutting edge stuff before all the academic journals came out. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm giving too much crap to YouTube stuff.
I mean, I think you should give all the crap to YouTube stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty pro Hank Green though.
I know you are. We talked about this before.
Yeah, but
and his brother.
yeah, I'm more pro Hank.
More pro Hank than you are. What's his brother's name?
John.
John. Yeah, more pro Hank than John.
I would like to meet both of them, but I'd really like to meet Hank.
Yeah, more Romulus than Remus. I understand.
Yeah, Remus picked the better spot, I'll say.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, that's basically it for Palladium for this. Now, there are so many more. And honestly, it's a mixed bag on the settings. I know one very intimately.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that one is well thought out and has its own unique culture and everything, but it's stupid. And there's another one I own.
Yeah.
In paperback that I just haven't read yet.
Oh, okay.
And then there's several other ones that I haven't really delved into, depending on what the third Ninja Turtles movie is like. We'll find out.
Here's a big question that I would like to ask you, Ted.
Yes.
Because I've been somewhat subjecting you to these Ninja Turtle movies. Subjecting. But would you like a change in pace?
No. Absolutely.
We're watching the third one?
Kevin, we're doing our 6-part Ninja Turtle Spectacular.
This is technically a 6-parter. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we're going to watch next time we see you guys. It'll be after watching Ninja Turtles 3. I forget the subtitle of that, but Ninja Turtles 3.
Okay, but before I forget.
Sorry, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
With just these supplements.
Yes.
Would you play After the Bomb?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, there's always that caveat of Palladium.
Yes.
So, rating-wise, out of 10 motorcycles, I would give this a 5. 5 out of 10 motorcycles. The East Coast, underwhelming. West Coast, more interesting. I get it. Still Palladium, so it already subtracts 5 points every single time.
Still Palladium, and not only that, it's still old Palladium.
Yes, and that's that extra little zinger that people have with that. Yeah, I would make characters in this. Like, same thing we said for most Palladium games, where we're going to be, like, turning into, like, just, like, repeating ourselves here, but...
I mean, it's kind of just the answer for Palladium games, though.
Yeah, if the story is dumber, like in Nightbane, then I would rate it lower. This, however, is just generic enough where you can just have fun with the character creation and have a good time with that. So, yeah, I would recommend this 5 out of 10 motorcycles.
I think I'm actually going to give it a 4.
Okay. And reason being?
It's so poorly presented. Having had to read these...
That's fair.
Like I said, I flipped through them because I was like, oh, I was very confident I knew the most of the stuff of this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I just make up a lot of the lore and everything? And I had to really go back and do kind of a deep dive because I felt bad. It's like, I think I did Kevin a disservice explaining this. And I was like, oh, that's why it's all hidden.
Well, here's our relationship with these kind of books right here. Mm-hmm. You're my Audible service where you just read me the facts from the book and I don't have to actually read it.
True.
So I always will rate this higher because you have to struggle more than I do to understand this.
That is very true, which, man. It is not pleasant to read.
If you guys can get a TED, I recommend getting a TED to read these Palladium books for you.
Additionally, Palladium really tried to make these budget options so people could just buy them for $5.
Right.
Which means the paper quality is awful.
Right. So actually interacting with the book is also another thing that you'd rate that.
If you get a digital version, you can still see that.
Yeah.
Like even the digital versions seem kind of crappy.
Not even modern technology can take away the crappiness from which they came from. I agree.
It is fascinating how crappy these books are.
Yeah, but 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 motorcycles.
So 4.5 motorcycles. That's 4 motorcycles plus some parts to repair them with.
Ah, yes, some parts held together by some psychic that are unnecessary to the motorcycle. 4.5.
Yeah, that once again, that is probably the most interesting
aspect of that book, I guess.
Yeah, that is just the coolest class.
Yeah, also fair. But thank you everybody for listening. Next time you see us, we'll be suffering from Ninja Turtles 3, something with time.
Turtles in Time, right?
Yeah, sure.
I think you said that before.
I did say it before, probably. I don't remember that at all. But Turtles in Time, sure. Should be fine. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you all next time.
God save the Queen.
And with that, we're gone. See ya.